However, their dua, it will apply without a doubt upon those who had the capacity to do something and they did nothing. Without a doubt. They will apply to those who had the power, who had the wherewithal and the means to do something and they didn't do something. As for me and you, what can we do? What can we do? All that we can do is very meager, and in that meager attempts, this is our salvation. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. And O Muslims, our religion is based upon rulings, not emotion. Our Prophet ﷺ lived in Mecca when the Sahaba were tortured to death in front of his eyes. Bilal was being dragged in the streets, ahadun ahad. Yasir and Sumayya were shuhada in front of his eyes. They were tortured to death. They were tortured to death in front of his eyes. How do you think he ﷺ felt? Yet all he could do was to say, Sabran ala Yasir fa inna mu'idukum al-jannah. That was not the time and place to engage in anything more than that, or else it would have gone bad on the entire Muslim community. So we have to learn from the seerah. It's not my right to proclaim a physical intervention, to proclaim a struggle for the sake of Allah. It's not the right of any scholar to do so. But is struggling for the sake of Allah a communal fard? Without a doubt it is. But who has the right to declare it? People that have clout, authorities, diplomatic clout, armies, those are the people that must declare. And as soon as they declare, inshallah, at that stage, every single scholar should say, Yalla, Bismillah, they have declared. But you cannot expect average people to do this. It's going to cause chaos in our communities, in where we live. And it's not going to bring benefit for the people of Gaza. So in my analysis, and again, it is, and this is opinion basically of the default of the ummah, if you look at it, us people who are preachers and teachers, all we can do is raise awareness and try to put pressure on our governments, Muslim and non-Muslim. We're doing something. Even today I had a phone conversation trying to do something within our own government as well. The tide is changing. Many people within our own government, the American government, they're changing in their perception of the situation. So yes, do what you can. But in the end, if you are trying, the dua of the madhloom will only stick to the zalim. The dua of the madhloom, it will go on the zalim. If you are not the zalim, and if you are not responsible, that dua will not fall on you. So yes, it's painful. And I have no words to describe that pain. And they are fully excused for their frustration. But at the same time, understand, it is a valid dua. But if you are trying whatever you're able to do, it will not fall on you. Now, if you are somebody who had the power, the clout, and you didn't do, then fear Allah. Because wallahi, on the day of judgment, the dua of that mother will definitely be attached to you. And all of your armies and your strength will not be able to help you on that day. So if you have that power, the dua of the mothers of Gaza on that day will be something you will not have any defense against. And all the power you had, and all the izzah the people gave you, and all the armies that you used to control will be of no benefit. And that dua will definitely be something you have to answer to. We ask Allah's afiyah in that regard. Now we move on to our next genre of questions, and that is, this is a specific genre of media. Regarding the recent social media attacks on Epic, which resulted in serious impact to our masjid and our services, could this impact have been prevented if we, the Muslim community, had significant presence online, if we had active, keyboard social media engagers, tactical influencers? What is your view on community presence and activism on social media? And should we give more attention and active participation on this, in these mediums? So without a doubt, if you look at what happened with our entire debacle at Epic, the controversy began online. And the millions of views that took place, and all of the fear-mongering, and all of the hatred, it did not start except online. Social media, Twitter, Instagram, the far right began jumping and fomenting, and they began tagging the politicians and the governor until finally they had to get involved. And so much misinformation, snippets and clips, wrong things about the Quran, about Sharia, about our intentions, about me and yours truly. 27 video clips and tweets were specifically about yours truly, right? Generic khutbah. You know, wallahi, may Allah protect. I give a generic khutbah. Allah will protect His religion. Okay, yes, He will. Look, they take that out. He is saying Islam is going to destroy America. I never said anything like that, you know. This religion is going to go from east to west as the Prophet predicted. Look, supremacy. They want to come and they want to do this. Like they take a generic clip and they make an entire story out of it, right? SubhanAllah. If I say something, we follow the Sharia of Allah. Look, he's not an American, he's not going to follow the Constitution. We're following and obeying the laws of the land, and we're following the Sharia in our lives, no problem. But again, that's what happens when fear-mongering. You take tweets and clips. What should we have done? This person that is behind these tweets, one person. Can you believe? One person, Zionist, well-known, and not a single one amongst us was able to effectively lobby and campaign her misinformation. And this lady, complete through and through, Jewish background, Zionist, her own story is it's so easy to refute her. Her own father, her own brother publicly said she's unhinged, she had nothing to do with us. Her own family dissociated. Her own brother publicly said that we have nothing to do with her. She left her husband. She's dating a murderer, convicted murderer. She's living next to a jail. I mean, the story is crazy. Nobody even knows. Not one person managed to find the factual reality. Funding is coming from India. This is some white lady in upstate, America, and funding from India because the BJP wants to tarnish the image of Islam. Not one person is able to effectively put together and say, hey guys, people in Texas, why are you listening to Indian-funded propaganda coming through New York and New Jersey? Why? We didn't have a single person. This person has the funds to hire 2-3 people, that's it. Full time, all they do, and I have no doubt even this will be done, what I'm doing now, this clip, all they do, sometimes I was shocked. I give a khutbah Friday at 2 p.m. and by 8 p.m. the propaganda has begun from the same khutbah. 5 hours. They take the clip, make an entire story, create a counter-narrative, say, look what this cleric said, this and that. And I said on that day, I said, we are Americans, we're not going to be living as second-class citizens. Ya akhi, this is patriotic. I'm saying we're American. We want to be the same rights. And she comes and says, look, he's demanding this and he's doing that. And the whole propaganda begins. Without a doubt, what we saw in this entire debacle is that our community is still very disconnected from effective campaigning and lobbying, right? And then to target the politicians, to bring the governor and the local, the state and the Congress of the city involved. And they know exactly who it is, and funding them, giving them campaigns. If you're going to ban, Epic and whatnot, we'll pay you. And we are so disconnected from politics, from lobbying, from social media, that when we finally got access to the Congress lady that is actually our Congress lady of this district, our district, we finally got access to her. We had a meeting with her. I sat down with her, right? Explained everything, showed her everything, showed her the tweets from our own governor, our own politicians. And she was from the other party, the Democratic Party, and she was very incensed. And the same day, she tweeted to the governor directly, we do not tolerate bigotry and Islamophobia in this country. You should not be targeting a minority in this manner. The same day she tweeted, right? And as soon as she tweeted, backlash from within our own community begins. Sheikh, can you stand next to a non-hijabi lady in a picture? Wallahi, go look it up. You think I'm making it up? So my point is, we are disconnected from reality. I have to battle so many different battles at the same time. This and that, and we are still, how do you expect me to save our masjid and community? Except by going to our politician. And she tweeted a picture with me, saying this is the Imam of the masjid, we don't want Islamophobia. She's defending Epic. And one of the girls said, is it okay to take a picture next to a non-hijabi lady? Wallahi, I wanted to say to the brother, which corporation do you work in that, mashallah, all niqab and hijab? Which corporation do you work in that, mashallah, full segregation? Which world are you living in, right? But yes, we are disconnected from reality. And unless and until, why do you think other groups have that clout and power? Why do you think this country is so pro-Israel? Primarily it is AIPAC money. We know this. Even Republicans are now pointing this out. Republicans are pointing this out. There's something called AIPAC Tracker. They're tracking who's giving how much money to AIPAC. They're pointing this out. We are not doing this. Why? Because again, we're disconnected from this. So without a doubt, I think there's a lot we can do. And yes, one of the things we can do, social media. This entity, this group, this lady, we now know she has hired full-time staff in India to find these types of tweets and then make big thing about them. She has bots. You know what bots are? Fake accounts. She has bots, fake accounts. She purchases them. And when she puts out a tweet, fake likes, because there's an algorithm. The more likes, the more it's going to spread. So tens of thousands of fake likes. From where? India, of all places. Because again, the BJP is financing this. We don't even have a single, forget fake bot, we don't even have the real community, you know what I'm saying, getting involved in this regard. We are so disconnected. We have a lot of battles to fight. But inshallah, I'm optimistic. Bit by bit, we're going to be able to do that, inshallah ta'ala. So yes, this is one of the things we need to do. Next question, just genre of questions. How to deal with OCD religiously? A person is having doubts in the faith, waswasa, constantly struggling. I'm constantly saying my shahada over and over again. Ideas are coming that are blasphemous, kufri, whatnot. And I'm really worried, and my family is worried for my sake. So I'm answering this question. I chose this question because it's actually a very common question, unfortunately.